Hello everyone, this is Plankara and welcome to my universe. Today we're going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. Just now I was taking a look at some of the other stuff that I've been working on for quite some time, and I realized I wasn't quite satisfied with how this little part is moving just yet. Kinda feels like everything is expanding upward just a little bit still. So I wanted to adjust that before I got back into the back hair. Because yes, I started the back hair last time. Kinda got a lot of the big picture stuff done. So that means that this upward head turn will probably be done soon, because the back hair is like the last thing that I work on. So that's all the more reason to just look very carefully and make sure that everything else is actually how I want it to be. That's why I was taking a good look over everything else here, and why I noticed that maybe this part right here wasn't the best that it could be. So yes, I just want to revisit some stuff in this area a little bit here. I see a little bit of stuff over here and a little bit of stuff over here. I think everything else is looking really good though. I spent a bit of time just really scrutinizing it all. Like over here I think looks really good. It's just some stuff right in this area that I'm not quite satisfied with it yet. So let's take a quick look here. Just take it slow and seriously. And then remind myself that it's not quite the end yet, because once I finish all 4 directions here, I want to go back and really take a look at all the other turns as well, and kind of polish them up, make them as perfect as I can. Look at some of the things that have been bothering me for a little while whenever I look at them. All that good stuff. And then we venture into the corners. I just want to make sure that everything else is quite nice, because the way the corners work here is that the computer kind of takes the information from the 2 directions that's relevant. So like when it's looking over here, it's taking information from this area and from this area and trying to put them together. And right now it looks a bit weird, which is why you have to do some manual fixing. So I really want to make sure that all 4 cardinal directions are exactly the way I want them before I move on. Oh yeah, that's already so much better. I think it's actually a little bit too high now, but it is better. Because I do want that underneath area to be a little bit larger looking, relative to everything else that is. Naturally, if this was a real person and not just a piece of 2-dimensional art, it wouldn't actually be getting bigger. But because it's 2-dimensional art and I'm trying to show perspective, it appears like it's getting bigger. That's kind of the distinction. It's an illusion. As it is with art in general. In the end, you are simply creating illusions. Because everything is just on a flat 2-dimensional surface. No matter how 3-dimensional you can make it look, no matter how well you can trick people's eyes, in the end, it is still just 2-dimensional. Strictly speaking, that's even true with 3D models. Just 3D models are ultimately still being projected onto a 2D screen. There's just more shenanigans with that. But it's especially true, I think, with, well, 2-dimensional artwork. Like, paintings and drawings and stuff. I guess 3D modeling isn't so much about the illusion as it is a bunch of other stuff. I've done some 3D modeling, but I don't have as much interest in it, so I only kind of know what I'm talking about. It's one of those classes I was forced to take in school. I remember talking to that teacher and asking him if I could do some stuff with two-dimensional computer graphics. And he was like, no, 2D is dead. And I'm just like, man, that was a long time ago, but I wonder if he feels silly. With the rise of indie games and all that stuff. Like, I guess I can't blame a college professor for trying to encourage a student into going into a field that would probably have more job opportunities, you know, that being 3D, not 2D. But I never really wanted to work with 3D, so it was a moot point. Didn't really help me much. In the end, I showed him Danganronpa, which technically used 3D models, but they looked very flat, like cookies. And I was able to do something like that, and pretend like I wasn't just doing my best to do a 2D project instead of a 3D project. But yes, I was able to sell him on the idea of these flat 2.5D models instead of full 3D. That made me happy. It was way less work. And way more in line with what I actually want to do with art and stuff. Suppose I haven't actually talked about school that much. I did not go to art school. I went to school for game design and development, or I guess you could call it computer science with a game emphasis instead of, I don't know, some of the other stuff that computer science makes you do. Like, I never had to take operating systems or get into a lot of some of these nitty-gritty things. I was focused on higher level things and coding games and stuff. And a lot of I did have to take quite a few art classes, but it was not an art-focused degree, it was a programming-focused degree. I can only imagine how terrible some of those art classes were for people that didn't even have an interest in doing game art. Because it's like, I like art. Art is great. Naturally, I think art is great. And, there were... I can't think of a single thing that made me not want to draw or do art in general than my art classes did. My teachers were, unfortunately, very, very judgmental when it came to digital art. This was, again, a long time ago when digital art was a bit more new and hadn't become quite as mainstream. And the teachers at my school hated it a lot. So I generally ask once at the beginning of the semester, hey, can I do stuff in digital? Get a no, and be like, okay. And I never really argued it further. But some of the stuff that some other people had to deal with was pretty nasty. Like, there was one student that made a program that could generate Celtic-style art of, like, patterns and that kind of thing. Like, it basically made textures, and it was really neat, and he was going to win some kind of award, but the art department would not let him call it Celtic art. He had to call it a Celtic canvas, if I recall correctly. And that kind of stuff's ridiculous. I don't like it when people are judgmental about what is art. Especially since I remember one of the art teachers in question here, the ones that I knew about, was gushing about this one artist that was making art out of elephant dung. And I do not think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's kind of gross, and I wouldn't want to do it myself. But if he can make something cool and something meaningful to him, all the more power to him. I think it's great. But elephant dung okay, computers not. It's kind of weird. People should be able to use whatever tools they want. And whatever style they want. Whatever makes them happy. And I think it's okay to call it art. Just gotta embrace the differences in what everyone wants to do, what they want to produce, and what their own perspectives are in the world. And I think art is great for that, but some people are just not so accepting of that, and it's quite unfortunate. Especially those that consider themselves an authority. Oh yeah, speaking of school, initially I actually wanted to go to school for chemistry. And go into science and stuff, because that sounded like a great time, but I had trouble with the labs. I'm extremely sensitive to smells. And when we had our first lab with a bunch of vinegar, I had trouble, and I kind of knew that there might be problems there. I kept trying, but then we had a lab with ammonia, and I, felt like I was going to die. So, I unfortunately was not able to do chemistry. I think I'm okay with that, though. I ended up really enjoying computers, and of course games. So, it worked out in the end. If you ever hear me wanting to talk about invoking science to talk about creativity, there you go. I've always had an interest in it. And the scientific method is very, very useful for eliminating your own biases and just trying its best to help you dig out the truth. Don't treat it like a dogma. It's a process. And every discovery deserves to be questioned. That's how we make new discoveries. Now this is just reminding me of a story that my husband told me about Einstein's reaction to quantum physics. Or quantum mechanics, I guess, more specifically. And, just wave functions and the like, and he was not a fan. Because, what we currently know of in quantum mechanics, it just doesn't really jive with relativity, which was, of course, Einstein's big discovery. And so that means that there's just something out there that we don't know. Something that'll probably bring these two theories together, of the theory of relativity and then a lot of the stuff in quantum mechanics, in order to make something that makes sense. But we don't know what it is yet. My husband has described it as the holy grail of physics. And apparently, Einstein was very unhappy when he first learned about it. And tried to discredit it hard. Just because it didn't really mesh well with his theories. It's kind of funny to picture of just nerd arguments. Occasionally I've talked about the idea that art and math and science are not mutually exclusive, and you can like all the things. And then you can bring some of these ideas of math and science and whatnot into your art, if you're so inclined, of course. These subjects are not for everyone, of course, but they are not opposed to each other either. And that's one misconception that I think a lot of people have about art. Is that for whatever reason they don't go together, but I promise they're best friends. Math can be immensely creative. I'm not even a math person, and I can recognize that. It's like, all you gotta do is talk to someone that is a math person, and you will see. They can get into it, man. I think the first time I realized that was with chess. The board game, to be clear. And I think a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about chess too, and that it's cold and logical and analytical, and you picture that these dastardly masterminds just moving people around like pieces on a chessboard and that kind of thing. And every chess player I've ever met has been a complete dork. And chess itself is immensely creative. Immensely. People have actually done brain scans on masters playing chess, and it's not the analytical parts of your brain being used, it's the creative parts. It's the parts that recognize patterns and geometry and all that stuff. It is far from a cold game. It's very, very spontaneous and wild. I can't agree that a lot of the people that get really, really good at it, though, are kind of weird. But I think that's true of anyone doing anything immensely creative. If you get really, really good, you're probably a bit weird. It's fine. Meanwhile, I think that this area of the hair is doing much better now. Yes. Do I have anything I want to fix on it? I think this is good for now. I will revisit this in the morning and see if I still like it. But I think this is a lot better than it was when I first started. Everything is moving a little bit more in the right way. I'm still not quite sure about some stuff around here. I feel like I see something, but I can't really tell what it is. Makes me think I should poke at it just a little bit more. Because it's weird, because I feel like this light area is all in the right place on the bank here. So I'm not quite sure what's bothering me quite so much. Do I need to just... Okay. I'm gonna save real quick, because I'm about to do something very scary. And I'm just talking about how great science is, so... Better do some science here. Let's go. Makes me nervous. But I'm gonna move, like, everything here over quite a lot. That was a really big movement, and I'm gonna have to make a lot of stuff to compensate. Okay. It's not right. I'm almost relieved. Okay. It's okay, that's why I saved, just in case I did something irreparable. But no. It wasn't right. Although I might have saved a little bit of the push I did, so... this actually looks better than I remember it being. So who knows? Maybe I did something. I'll take credit. Sure, why not? Just try a couple of other things here and there. See what happens. I think it's worth a try. If there's something bothering me, there's probably a reason, so... I'll see where my ideas bring me. Yeah, I think that actually helped a bit. Let me just do a few things to maybe bring it home. Make it just right. Okay, let's see if that helped at all. If it's helping me fix all the problems that I'm seeing. Yeah, I think that actually is a little bit better. We shall see what the me of tomorrow thinks. But for now, I will take it. And then... just a couple of other small edits here. I want to squish this down just a little bit more. And then... where's my side bang here? Here we are. Grab this. And like squish like all of this down just a little bit. Just a little bit. Nothing too serious. Yeah, I think it's a little bit better. We'll see what the me of tomorrow thinks. If there's more stuff that she wants to fix up. Because after all, I still have a lot of other stuff I want to do today. So I'll leave it there for now. Gotta finish the back hair and all the shadows. The back hair is always an adventure. It's like everything from about here over to the left is always really straightforward. And then there's this. This little highlight right here, it's like... it doesn't like me. Sometimes I think it threatens me in my sleep. But... I will do my best to try to find a good spot for it. Oh yeah, that also reminds me that, when I was looking at what things looked like over here, you can see some of the back hair poking through. So I want to make sure to squish down the top here. I'm gonna do that first before I forget. Because I almost forgot again. It's like there's times that I think about fixing these minor things when I see them off stream, but I'm like, no. No, gotta show the entire process on stream. It's the rules. Gotta do it. So I'm just gonna slide some things down here. I'm gonna start with some of the easier areas, and I'm gonna just hide from this guy for a little bit. Like I said, that one's scary. And I'm just gonna try to make this area look a little bit less stretched out. Right now, it's a little bit stretched. And it looks a little bit painful, so... just gotta get everything going into the right place here. How is that? The angles aren't right, but I think the distances are doing much better. So let's see. What does this look like again? Let me remind myself. Just take a look at it. See how it all works out. Okay. Oh man, I just realized we're already like halfway through the stream today and I haven't even talked about Inktober. It's going. It's been going. Today's theme is a weird one if I'm remembering it correctly. I suppose I should actually look. Yes. Snacks. I don't know. So, I thought of something kind of goofy and weird. Kind of silly. It's like if I don't know what to do with something, might as well do some shit posting. So that's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be dumb, and I think it's gonna be good. Hopefully as delicious as the snacks I draw. And I guess this marks, yeah, today's gonna be a week since I started uploading videos, isn't it? Because I think I'm uploading day 7 today. Haven't had a chance to sit down and just edit all the videos yet, so I'm kind of scrambling every morning and trying to put together the video right after I finish my speed paint. And, but hopefully this weekend I will be able to put together all the videos and then, start uploading more than one every day and eventually catch up. So this way I can upload the image and the time-lapse in the same day. I think I'd like to do that. This way I don't have to keep you guys waiting. And by the way, if you like everything that I'm doing and haven't checked out any of the short time lapses that I've been putting out, they're all under a minute long, and it helps me out. Like and subscribe and all that. Please let YouTube notice me. And let the algorithm know that I'm worth, showing around. I'm doing my best. And I'd definitely like more people to see what I'm doing. Look, I'm totally fine talking to myself, but, I do like when people watch, even if they're not here to talk live. I think I talk about some cool things. And I'm hoping to continue to make interesting content out there. I just need the time and the energy to put it all together. And honestly, after Inktober ends, I'm probably going to need a little bit of a break from art. That's the upside to doing all the rigging now. The timing worked out perfectly. Because it means I'm probably going to be considerably less burned out than I would be otherwise. Rigging takes a slightly different part of my brain than drawing does. So it's kind of nice to have both going. Now I'm just trying to get some of these more subtle shades in here. Like you can see this area is a bit darker than this area. I'm trying to make sure that they're moving down roughly the same amount. And that nothing's getting squished and squashed and all that good stuff. It's trickier than it looks. Just because, it's like even if I have a lot of the shapes in the right spot, that doesn't necessarily mean that everything is exactly in the right spot. Yeah, there we go. The idea is just that I keep the shape of this little triangle, like, roughly the same. I'm just moving it down. And of course, it's moving down because her head is moving up, so the back of her head will be further down than it was. An important distinction. And one that I'm trying to capture here. So far, so good, honestly. It's like this area is always a little bit easier than over here. Like I said, I think over here just threatens me in my sleep sometimes. I wake up and I can only dream of triangles. I assure you, it's quite terrifying. The rest is, it's not so bad. It's fine. Alright, got a few things to fix over here too. It's like even though this area is disappearing behind her body, it's still important that I have the shapes relatively right, just so while it's moving between the keyframes there, it still looks right. It still looks like that area is just moving up and down as opposed to being stretched and squashed and all that stuff. Same idea as what I was doing on the other side, just on this side. Yeah. Got to do it everywhere. There is no escape. I also want to consult the mesh for a little bit of what to do with this area, because that area is a bit of a mess. Alright, mesh. What's going on over here? Share your wisdom with me. Show me what you got. You're actually telling me it's not as bad as it could be. Okay. I'll take your word for it. It's honestly good to hear. So I thought I might have to pull some more shenanigans, but it doesn't seem like there's that many shenanigans to worry about here. Alright, so now I'm gonna move on to this next area. Right over here. Just try to get the shape of this hair moving the way I want. Kind of felt like it was not doing that. It's just squirming a bit here. I just need to remember the angle of it. I should probably check it here before I do, but a lot of the other hair is covering up and I don't feel like hiding the layers right now. I might end up needing to hide the layers later, like her side bang here, since it's all covering stuff up there. But I don't want it right now, so I'm not going to. I'll do it later. Now I'm gonna check on this side before I go over to the highlight that's threatening me. And honestly, it looks fine. I don't even think I need to change anything. Yeah, maybe a little bit over here, but just slide this in a little bit. Pull these vertices down just a little bit. Yeah, I think we're good. Nothing too special there. Nose is a little bit runny this morning. I'm looking forward to winter. Once it starts snowing, the allergies are always a little bit better. I got a lot of snow where I live, so it's very nice. I think I said back in spring when I was having some allergies that it was okay. I just have to be patient and wait, because once winter comes, I will get my revenge, because everything will die, and I will not. And winter is coming. I'll get you yet, plants. Alright, still feel like the angle here is not quite right. Let me take a look here, because, yeah, if you look at, like, this lighter area between these two darker areas, little triangle there, kind of feels like it's moving a little bit to the left, and getting, or not so much wider, but the angle on it is changing. So let me adjust some of the areas around it. Being a little bit particular here, because this is the area nearest to the face. And as always, I go hard in the face. I always want to get the face just right. So every single one of these little details matters to me. Way more than it would if it's say something over here on her shoulder. Not that the details on the shoulder don't matter at all, they just don't matter as much. With the stuff here, I want to get as close to perfection as possible. Just gotta find where that is. Another thing that I'm really looking forward to is once I finish the head angles, and maybe do some physics and stuff, just because I really want to do the physics, is I want to load all this into Inochi session to test it, and actually start controlling it with my head, and see how everything moves. And that sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. Just moving around, seeing what happens. Seeing if everything looks good, or if there's any, like, problems I need to fix up. I suspect that there probably will be a few. Just because I rarely get things right on my first time. Or first try. Always some stuff that I just kind of gotta fix up. But I'm just really looking forward to seeing how it all moves and all that. Can use my scene where my model is bigger when I go test. Me, myself, I'll probably just be looking in Inochi session, but still, you can see more than just a model in the little corner when I go test models. It's so exciting. And just watching the cardinal directions of the head turns be almost done, it's like, it's getting close. It's getting close. And then I might do like weekly testing while I work on the body. It really will be nice to have the head angles done. Been working on them for so long. But it's okay, I think they're coming out really good. I think I have learned quite a lot from rigging my own model. And even a lot more from just working on this one. So I'm very excited. So much to look forward to. So yes, I guess now it is time to get into all of this. The very, very scary highlight. Right now I feel like it's moving a little bit too down, so I'm kind of bringing it back up a little bit. Seeing where that takes me. Okay, I've actually got lots of room to play with here. So let's see how all this works out. A little better, but I think it's still moving down a lot more than like everything else. So we're gonna bring out the big guns. Big ol' brush, let's go. Slide everything on up. Not gonna worry about things like not fully covering where they need to cover and all that. I just want to get everything into place first. Okay. I think this will be a good place to start because it's not moving down enough now. But this means that I can have lots of control while I just push things down a little bit and not overdo it this time. And make everything squirm. Do not need squirmy hair. Hair is not worms. It is not. I also need to adjust the angles on this quite a lot here. Because this should be more angled like this. Also probably a little bit lower. So I'm still looking for that balance. It'll take some time to find, it's fine. Once I find it, it should be pretty good. I think this is a pretty important bit of hair, so even if it's not near the face, I think it's the area with the highest contrast. So that makes it a bit more noticeable than some other bits of hair would be. Mostly focusing on trying to find where this spot right here should go. So I think once I figure out him, I will have a much better chance with everything else. I just gotta find that one's home. Where it wants to go and where it belongs. Okay, there we go. I think that's getting much closer now. I think it's still moving down a little bit too much, and the angle still is wrong. But it's closer. Let me double check the angle here. And it swoops upward. I really was not very particular about meshing the back hair at all. I'm kind of suffering for it, but I can understand what my past self was thinking by not trying too hard. I did not expect to be moving it quite this much. But But it actually turns out that a lot of these strands are actually quite important. And everything will look strange if I don't get them right. Definitely did not set myself up for success here. Well, that is a lesson I will carry with me into the future. No need to get mad at my past self for it. I know exactly what she was thinking. It's totally understandable. Alright, time to consult the mesh a little bit. See if it can get me some clues. Maybe I should have actually worked on the back hair here first before doing corrections, because now I'm getting a bit tired. And it's going to be hard to do the last little bit here. But I'll do my best. I will do my best. Trying to get a lot of these vertices moving roughly the same amount. Without getting closer together or further apart. Just keep the spacing relatively the same. That's more or less what I'm looking at here because this one's a little bit harder to read, I think. Like I said, this mesh is kind of a mess. So working with it is a little bit difficult. But I will certainly try. Just trying to get rid of all the little areas that stand out to me first. Before I go in and do some very intense staring. And I'm mostly focused over here, like, I see some squirming and stuff around some of these other areas. But they look okay, so I'm not too concerned about it. I'm mostly focusing on the ones that really do not look okay. Like over here. This does not look okay. So I need to fix it up. That's just how it works. Yeah, now things are coming together a little bit better. See, this is why I continue to ask the mesh for its wisdom. The mesh is surprisingly intelligent. It can spot all kinds of problems. And even if it cannot express them to me in words, it has ways of letting me know what's wrong. It has ways indeed. Just look at all those vertices squirm when they're not quite in the right place. It knows. It understands. Alright, so things look a little bit wavy still. That's alright, I'll fix that eventually. I think I want the vertices to go a little bit further down. I'll just grab all the ones that I kind of want to move down a little bit here. Take out the couple that I don't. And I'll just do a gentle nudge. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. Her head's not moving up that much, so it doesn't need to move too far down. Now I'm gonna look here, look at the angle here again. It's pretty straight. So I don't want it to be too curved. Let's just try to straighten this out a bit. I can afford to be particular about it. Take as long as I need. Because none of this is a race. And as much as I want to get the back hair done today, if I don't, it is not the end of the world. I will just finish it tomorrow instead. Maybe something like this. Does something like this look good? Let me finish straightening out some stuff down here. And then I'll see. How we doing? Still doesn't look completely straight, so probably not quite right. Yeah, definitely not quite right. Let's really get that straight. Like right through there. Where exactly is the problem here? What is stopping you from being straight here? What is making your back all crooked? I don't know, but I think this looks a little bit straighter. Let's take a look. A little bit. There's still like something right here though. Is it this one that's controlling that? I think it is, yes. Just trying to straighten things out right through here. Easier said than done. But I will do it. I promise. It shall be done. Okay. Alright, so now I think it's over here. Where it's kind of curving the other direction. Probably something I did when I was trying to make the strand a little bit thicker. You just try to get those angles right there. Yeah, it's still curving a little bit too much the other way. So let's see if we can bring it back this way a little bit. Down here too. Just try to get everything nice and straight. Maybe something like that. Close, not quite. Let me see, I'm gonna check the mesh again here. I feel like there's some sliding happening somewhere. Let me look without it. See if I can identify where I feel like there's a shenanigan. It's like right there. Right here. But I can't tell what controls that. It's like I said, I didn't mesh this very well, so it's probably like 4 things controlling it. And it's just a big ol' mess. But I really don't like that movement. It's bothering me. I want to fix it. Like, I just don't want to leave things in a state where I'm just like, man, I don't like that. Why would I want to leave it there? That'd be so sad. So it's like I'll probably have to flail for a little bit, but I'll get it eventually. Makes me wonder why this strand hates me so much. I always work so hard to try to make it happy. It just never is. And that makes me sad. You'd think with the way the strand is that I threatened its mother at some point. But I promise I didn't. Yeah, it just got this curve in it. I can't tell where that's coming from. Alright, let's ask the mesh. I don't have any other ideas. Maybe this just needs to go back over here. Okay. Gonna take it slow. This one seems fine. Guess this one needs to be a little bit lower. No, not that low. Just a little bit lower, apparently. But I do have trouble following the movement of the mesh here. A lot of the time, it's easy because I was able to keep everything so organized and stuff, but this mesh is a bit of a mess. So its wisdom is a bit garbled and jumbled, and I can only read so much. At least this time I know that it's this spot, and I know that's being controlled by. So maybe I worked out the spot. Okay, I at least worked out the spot that was bothering me. So that's a victory. That's definitely a victory. You just gotta do things one step at a time. And anything better is progress. Always important to remember that. As long as it's better than yesterday, progress was made. Okay, I think that's fine. Let's take a look at the corner here. Let's take a look at this corner. So I kind of felt like some of that stuff was sliding upward a little bit, so I'm pulling it back down. Hopefully make it move the same amount as everything else in this area. That's the hope. Oops. Little misclick there. Definitely don't want to make the back hair here disappear while I'm trying to work on it. That would make it very difficult to work on. Definitely. Very, very hard to work on something you cannot see when you are drawing. Or rigging. Silly, silly hand. Trying to do things on its own. This area looks like it's getting a bit thicker, so I'll push some stuff in here. Hopefully get all that right and get all this the right thickness. And hopefully I can finish that up and be ready to move on to other things tomorrow. So I'm still very, very excited. Just so excited to be looking into fixing up everything else and all that stuff. I still have the shadows to do, and I don't think I'm gonna get to those today. Gonna hide the side bang here. Where are you? Just so I can see what I'm doing a little bit better here. The loops and stuff can stay in. This could also give me some insight into things that are not working correctly. Just try to smooth everything out here. Get it all ready. So I think we're on the final stretch here. Isn't that kind of exciting too? Just feeling of being almost done. I was hoping to be a little bit closer to almost done today, but alas. This area, man. That area always gets me. Always ends up being a lot harder than I think it's gonna be. Just like it's the back hair. How hard could it possibly be? And then this strand just looks me in the eye and says, hello. Hello there. How are you today? I heard you wanted to get stuff done. I heard you wanted to finish the back hair. I'm not gonna let you. It is just very mean like that. So let's see here. Yeah, this is definitely helping though, because now I can kind of see where this darker area is supposed to be going, and it's helping me figure out what looks good on the lighter areas too. On the dreaded highlight. The dreaded highlight that just always gives me so much trouble. Man, I just feel like I'm so close, yet so far. And I don't want to give up quite yet. Let's go finish up the bottom here, because I think this is really close to being there. I just kind of need to move some of this stuff downward a little bit more. Because it needs to move downward just like everything else. Okay, so the angle on this tip is off. So if I can find what's controlling that. Is that here? No, it's here. That might give me a clue as to why I don't like this upper part very much. And why everything around here just keeps squirming so much. It just does not look comfortable at all. So how is that? I think some of these areas just might have been a little bit too high or too low, because I was noticing that it looked like there was some compression at the tip there. And that was probably contributing to why I disliked certain parts of it. So I'm going to work a little bit with that in mind. I'm probably reaching my limit for what I'll be able to do today, but man, I am determined to try to finish up the back hair here. Would have liked to do the shadows too, but I don't think that's in the cards for today. I do not think my brain will tolerate that. I think if I tried, everything I did would just look kind of bad. The shadows aren't hard, so I might be able to handle it, but at the same time, the shadows aren't hard. So the me of tomorrow will not spend very much time working on them. So I'm sorry, me of tomorrow, but I think you're going to be stuck with it. But at least I will make it so you don't have to work in this highlight too much. Or if you do, it'll only be for touching things up. Because you're so picky. I'm happy to get the worst of it out of the way. What is causing that little lump there? Mesh, do you have any insights? Do you have any insights that I can maybe understand from you? Yeah, it really is getting thicker there. Okay. Mesh has some good ideas. Mesh is smart. Just had to stare at it for a second there and figure out what was going on. But yes, Mesh is very smart. Mesh knows what's going on. So I probably can't afford to just straighten out the triangles a little bit here. That might help. Just, as always, reminding myself that I was very particular about making the triangles straight. And nice little isosceles triangles here. When I was working on the initial mesh. So I can potentially just straighten out triangles and fix a lot of issues that way. Potentially. In theory. Never know for sure until you try it. Okay, so there's something going on up here. Let's take a look. Alright, let's turn the bangs back on here. See if that works for me. It's pretty close. I think I'll leave them on though. Because at this point I kind of want to be finishing up. And I don't want to get too stuck on details that aren't that important. I'll remove it if I think it'll give me more hints that I need. But I think at this point I'm close enough that I don't need those hints anymore. Just like right there, man. Why, past self? Why did you mesh it like this? You should have known that being lazy on such a detailed piece of hair would have been a bad idea. Oh, I'm so disappointed in you today. Alright. Because I can't get this angle right and it's driving me mad. And it's starting to get to the point where I feel like everything I do is making it worse. So that might be a sign that it's time to sleep on it and revisit it tomorrow. I'll try a couple more things, and if it doesn't work out, then that's probably what I gotta do. I'm sure the me of tomorrow will have good ideas too. But I just cannot work out these little wrinkles. And my brain is complaining it wants food. Yeah, I think I'll have to leave it there for today. It's like maybe 80% of the way there, so that's good. I can get the last little bit tomorrow. And so I will end here for today. So thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at your own creative projects, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, or any creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message or at me on the social media platform of your choice, and I'll take a look and maybe leave some comments. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.